Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, your narrator, Brendan Ingram. I'm IWN's very own Brendan, and I'm here live with your AEW Dynamite, April the 21st, 2021 review. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way, like I did last Wednesday. Decent show coming out of AEW, for sure. The TNT title and the AEW Women's title was two of the only best matches on the show, in my opinion. So before we get started with the review, be sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for notifications, especially if you're new to the channel, especially if you're a Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, or Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Super, or Naruto Dominion Stone 4 fan, especially if you're a Twitch streamer, if you're a YouTube streamer as well. Hit that subscribe button. I'm on my way to 400 subscribers. Currently still on the road to 1,000. And also follow me on Twitter, because that's where I tweet out my reviews and tweet out news related to WWE and AEW wrestling. You know, news related to a lot of talents getting hurt or injured, being hospitalized. And speaking of hospitalized, EC3 was hospitalized due to an infection. So my thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. Hopefully EC3 recovers and returns to whatever wrestling promotion he's in healthy. But follow me on Twitter. And also follow me on Twitch at Ingram Wrestling News. Now, with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started with the review. So, Pryo goes off as JR welcomes us to the show, and commentary runs down tonight's card. Ricky Starks made his way to the ring, accompanied by Hook. In an inset promo, Starks says, Page can't handle pressure. Hangman Page is out next. Taz is on commentary. So we got Ricky Starks versus Hangman Page. Man, Ricky Starks is absolutely terrible on commentary on AEW Dark. Like, real life, I'm actually saying this. He's terrible on commentary. He needs to get off commentary. He is not as hilarious as Taz and Escalibar on commentary. Escalibar and Taz are more hilarious on commentary than Ricky Starks. They need to get Ricky Starks off commentary. He's terrible. Just throwing it out there. He's as terrible as Max Caster in his entrance. Anyways. So, Page and Starks are evenly matched. Page hits a big boot. Starks hits a kick to the gut of Page. Page catches Starks in a leapfrog and hits body slam. Page hits stomps to the corner. And then Page hits Ricky Starks with a big forearm. And then he throws Starks to the apron and then catches Starks with a clothesline. And then driving Starks to the outside and then back in the ring. Page hits a pump handle fallaway slam on Starks, and then Starks drives Page throat first into the ropes. Starks hits stomps to the back and drives Page hard into the corner. Forearms Shiver to the back. Page hits Starks with a clothesline of his own. Starks hits an awkward landing and appears to have hurt the foot. Page hits some forearms and hits a brainbuster for a 2 count. So then Page hits a clothesline in the corner. Starks ducks under another lariat. Starks hits a sit-out powerbomb for a 2 count. Page drives Starks into the corner. Hangman Page hits a avalanche fallaway slam from the top rope Page hits a huge lariat for a 2 count. So then we got Page missing a hook shot lariat. Starks ducks under and hits a spear for a 2 count. Page locks in a bulldog choke and picks the injured ankle as Starks taps out. That was it. That was it, folks. So this match was basically either 2 or 3 minutes. At least that's my guess estimate anyway. My thoughts on this match, honestly, just imagine how much better this would have been had Starks not been hammered by the ankle injury. Yeah, true. It was still good. A quality showcase of 2 of AEW's brightest young stars, despite Ricky Starks being terrible on commentary. He is good at what he does in the ring. I can't lie about that. Page is clearly heading to bigger and better things. Presumably an eventual shot at Kenny Omega's AEW World Championship. That is going to be a great match. That'll probably be one of the best matches on the next AEW pay-per-view. If it's booked for the next AEW pay-per-view anyway. But Starks has all the talent in the world to be right there alongside Hangman Page sooner than later. So he handled the ankle injury to the best of his ability and didn't really let it prevent him from finishing the match and likely earned more respect for gutting things out in the process. So Page needed the win to get to where he is heading, but the tease of a battle with Team Taz creates questions as to whether he will battle his former tag team championship winning partner at Double or Nothing, or if AEW holds that particular clash off until All Out in August. Told y'all it was going to be, that title match was going to happen at one of the pay-per-views. Double or Nothing and All Out are both pay-per-views. So it's either going to happen at the All Out pay-per-view or the Double or Nothing AEW pay-per-view. I was right. I never lied to y'all when it comes to wrestling. So Taz stands up from commentary and says Page got lucky and he needs to watch his back. Hooks comes in and blocks Page. Hook and Starks beat down Page. Brian Cage comes from backstage, goes to power slam Page, and Dark Order run out to make the save. Team Taz backs away while Page and Dark Order stand tall in the ring. So we got a commercial break, and the Elite arrive. They have their own private trailer dock out with Elite logos. Penta, El Zero, Miedo. In an inset promo, Penta says they should have never rented the war with Death Tribe. So Trent is out next, accompanied by Orange Cassidy. So we got Trent with Orange Cassidy at ringside versus Penta, El Zero, Miedo. With Alex at ringside. Been a long time since I haven't seen Alex. Been a while. Trent goes for a headlock. Penta controls the arm. Trent picks the ankle and locks in a side headlock. Eventually matches so far. Penta takes off his glove and throws it in Trent's face. And yes, folks, before I went live with the review, I did watch the Dynamite clips on YouTube. I did watch them, and I did read the Dynamite results. And I was impressed, of course. The AEW always produces the best shows every week. I know them very well. I know the promotion very well. I know they are known for producing the best shows every week because I watch AEW. That's why. I don't know if you all realize that. I watch all 3 AEW shows every week. AEW Dark Elevation, AEW Dark, and AEW Dynamite. There you have it. Truth's been revealed. Trent goes for a headlock. Penta controls the arm. Trent picks the ankle, locks in a side headlock. Evenly matched so far. Penta takes off his glove and throws it in Trent's face. Trent hits strikes and chops. Penta hits a kick to the midsection. Trent hits a Meteora. Trent hits a back suplex on Penta. So then Penta rolls to the outside and drags Trent outside with him. So then he throws him into the barricade. And then we see Trent hitting a clothesline to Penta, and then Trent hits a suicide dive on the outside to Penta, and then back in the ring, Penta hits a cross body in a sling blade for a 2 count. That must have been an homage to Finn Balor. I don't know. Who knows? It might have been homage to Finn Balor or Seth Rollins. I don't know. Penta hits a super kick. Trent hits a rolling elbow and hits a tornado DDT. Penta hits a Cannon Destroyer. Penta shows off in Orange's face and gets right into Orange's face. And then Penta hits a chop to Trent. Penta goes for another chop. Trent ducks and Penta hits the ring post. Trent hits a big boot and goes for a spear. So then Penta moves out of the way and Trent crashes into the barricade. Back in the ring, Penta goes for a pin for the 2 count. And then Trent gets to the ropes. Penta hits a kick to the outside of the thigh. Penta hits strikes in the corner. Trent hits an exploder suplex on Penta. But Trent hits a Shining Wizard for a 2 count. That was a good Shining Wizard too, by the way. Penta hits a backstabber for a 2 count. So it's been 2 counts all in the middle of this match, man. 2 counts in, 2 counts out. It's been a lot of 2 counts from these guys, man. Penta hits a chop in the corner and drives Trent to the opposite corner. Penta hits a pump handle sit out a slam for another 2 count. Wow. Penta locks eyes with Orange and goes for a package pile driver on the apron. Trent fights out and hits a pile driver on the apron. Trent hits a spear on the outside. Penta translator. Alex is Penta's translator, apparently. Or maybe his manager. Alex gets on the mic and says Penta says he sucks, his friends sucks, and his mom sucks. Trent gets a chair. Alex runs into the ring. Alex hits Trent with a mic. Penta hits a package pile driver for the victory. Trent and Penta are capable. Trent and Penta, they're capable of much better than we got here. So, but even a good match is still pretty enjoyable to watch on TNT, you know. So, the commercial break slowed things down a bit and focused on Alvarez in the new role as the mouthpiece for Penta. Or should I say Abrahendez? I'm just going to call him Alex. So basically, it focused on Alex in this new role as the mouthpiece for Penta and took away from what likely would have been a dynamic closing sequence. Now, as it is, the finish keeps the feud between Death Triangle and Best Friends alive just in time for a huge 6-man tag team match on pay-per-view at Double or Nothing, if AEW so desires. Such a match with the talent involved would almost certainly be capable of stealing the show while giving us the latest chapter in Cassidy and Pac's feud. Now, we got JR sitting down with the Pinnacle, asking about Jericho's interview. MJF says he didn't steal the scarf. Tully got him a gift. Wardlow gives him the gift. It is another Rory Berry scarf. Wardlow asked if it was a perfect promo. He said he cut one of the best promos of his career, but he stumbled on his words with him. MJF says he stands in front of a bunch of B's to make Hagel look like an A for 30 years. Jericho has been outsmarting everybody until now. MJF says he is great now. He is a top guys now. They are the best faction. He is undefeated. MJF already beat Jericho, making him better than you, and you know it. So Jericho got one thing right in the Immortal promo. He is a merc, not for Jericho, for his spot, and he will take it. When you are in the Pinnacle, you are on top. Now, this was great stuff here from Wardlow, who so rarely gets on the opportunity to talk, that when he does, it means something. He carried his portion perfectly. Jericho and, perfectly calling Jericho out while propping himself up. Excuse me, y'all. It was a nice touch and the sort of thing that, if done in moderation, but presented as it was here, could lead to the young big man taking on a Batista-like persona in which he is clearly smarter and more aware of what's going on around him than he gets credit for. Now, MJF, when needed most, cut another extraordinary promo and put over the root of his issues with Jericho while hitting him with a few jabs in retaliation for last week's insults. It would have been nice for Sean Spears and FTR to have the opportunity to talk, but this stayed short and impactful, never outstaying its welcome. So we got the AEW Women's Championship match. We got Conti versus Shida. Wow. This was one of the two best matches on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite, in my opinion. That may not be your opinion, but it is mine. It's definitely my opinion. So before the match, we had a commercial break. Video package of Conti and Shida. Conti made her entrance first, accompanied by Dark Order champion. Shida's out next. Justin Roberts makes the official introduction. So we got a handshake to start. So both of them shaking hands, of course. They are friends. We all saw it coming. I even saw it coming myself. Mutual respect, lock up. Conti powers Shida to the ropes. Conti hits a forearm. Shida hits 1-2. Forearms back and forth. Shida gets the upper hand. Conti hits a side headlock and a judo takedown. Conti hits a knee. 2 count goes for another armbar. And Shida rolls through. Conti locks in a body scissors. Shida gets the ropes and rolls out. Conti swept on the apron. Shida hits a running knee. Conti driven into the barricade. Shida hits an enziguri. And then Shida hits a brainbuster on the outside. Back in the ring, Shida hits stomps to the back. It locks in a bow and arrow submission. Wrist lock and shoulder submission. Transitions into a headlock. Shida forces on the injury. She focuses on the injured back of Tay Conti, apparently. And Shida slams Conti into the corner, stomps, and a running knee in the corner. Shida goes for a cover for the 2 count. So then Shida locks in a jaw lock. Conti hits an elbow strikes. Shida drives her into the ropes. Shida goes for a superplex, and Conti hits a pump kick. Conti hits a clothesline, judo throw. Conti controls the wrist. German suplex. Conti hits a pump kick in the corner, running boot to the head. Shida gets Conti in the corner. Conti hits a kick to the midsection. Conti hits a senton on Shida from the top for a 2 count. Conti hits Shida with a forearm, and then Shida hits Conti with a jumping knee strike. And then Shida hits Conti with a Falcon Arrow for a 2 count. Then Shida gets Conti on the top. Conti hits a forearm again to Shida. And then Shida hits a headbutt to Conti. Shida hits Witch's shot on the top rope. Conti falls to the outside. Shida misses a Katina. Conti hits a pump kick and hits the TKO for a near fall. Conti kicks out of a backwards power driver. Conti hits an elbow strikes. Shida hits a huge backbreaker and hits the Katina for the victory. And that's it. So you could tell this was a great showing from these 2 ladies. But we all know Conti is one of the best AEW female professional wrestlers on this roster. And she's one of the best things going. Believe it or not, Tay Conti is one of the best things going for the AEW women's division. So, Conti looked like a star in this match. Hanging in there with Shida and turning in her best performance in an AEW ring to date. She was the future. She is the future of the division. Definitely. I absolutely 100% agree with this. She, believe it or not, she is one of my favorite AEW women's wrestlers. A star that will burn bright for years to come. And the fact that she has accomplished what she has already is a good thing. It's a good omen for any plans to highlight her moving forward. Shida just keeps rolling, turning in understated performance after understated performance and establishing herself as one of the best champions in wrestling today. This was another great showing, and her win puts her on a collision course with Baker. The Good Doctor is the breakout star of the women's division and absolutely should be the next to hold the title. I'm absolutely agreeing with what I'm saying. I want to give myself rounds of applause, but I don't. Beating someone with the credibility that Shida has amidst will only further solidify her as the top star in division, in the AEW Women's Division. That time is coming sooner rather than later. Presumably at the very same pay-per-view Shida won her title at, which is Double or Nothing. There you go. Now, Britt Baker comes out to the stage. The rankings show in the Titron showing Baker is now number 1. Shida throws the kendo stick at her. Miru hates the kid business. He needs vindication. If you have a title, you have a problem. He will not be kept from his destiny. Which champion will beat him? Well, which champion will he be first? We got Tony Schiavone bringing out The Inner Circle. Jericho says, "Who cares about the Pinnacle?" Inner Circle chants ring out. Jericho says, "On May the 5th, it's blood and guts. It will be one of the most violent and brutal matches on TNT." Hager says he has a present for the Pinnacle. Jericho watched the interview. It makes fun of Wardlow's eyebrows. Santina says they need a crew to step to us. We came from we call them, bitch moves. That's funny. That's funny he said that, though. Bitch moves. So on May the 5th, we'll see the size of their ear. Jericho says there's no conviction in anything he says. He doesn't feel anything he says. Jericho wrote a show tune about MJF. Jericho sings. Jericho washed his ass with MJF's new scarf. Blood and Guts will be a lesson on violence. Next week will be Inner Circle and the Pinnacle parlay. At Blood and Guts, he will beat the living hell out of MJF. The worst is yet to come. On May the 5th, they will own the Pinnacle's ass. Commercial break. Billy Gunn makes his entrance. Hugs the Gun Club at ringside. Anthony Ogogo says the only reason he is Miracle is to make the big money. The factory make their entrance. Billy Gunn attacks them on the backstage. We got Billy Gunn versus QT Marshall. Now, the bell rings, and Gunn beats down Marshall. Gunn hits a stomps in the corner. QT driven into the barricade. QT gets a shot in on Gunn momentarily. Gunn hits a body slam. QT rolls to the outside. Gunn hits a right hand on the outside. QT driven into the barricade. Colorado throws. Gunn head to the ring post. The Gun Clubs run from ringside to attack Colorado and the rest of the factory. They brawl to the back. QT Marshall hits a upper hand. Now shots across the face. QT hits a pile driver. Gunn gets out at 2. QT Marshall hits big right hands. Gunn hits shots of his own. Gunn hits a spinning slam. Gunn goes for the famouser. And then QT Marshall dodges out the way. Go-Go comes out and hits the big body shot to Gunn. QT Marshall hits a diamond cutter for the victory. So Go-Go hands QT a wooden chair. Dustin Rhodes runs out to make the save. Dustin attacks QT. Dustin hits a power slam to QT. Dustin has a bull rope, picks up the wooden chair. Go-Go stands on the apron, rolls up his sleeves. Camarado attacks Dustin from behind. Dustin hits him with the wooden chair, and it smashes over Camarado's head to no effect. Now, before I give you all my thoughts on the match between Billy Gunn and QT Marshall, I want to give you all my thoughts on the Inner Circle response to the Pinnacle. Now, Jericho tried to be a bit funny, a bit too funny with the show tune, and that didn't land nearly to the extent that most of his epic promos a week ago did. But still, he is so good at the intense and energetic babyface promos that the tune and charisma make up for it. Now, Santana was great in his rare opportunity to hold the mic, and overall, the tune stuck by the babyface group was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Next week's face-to-face will be the final opportunity to create buzz for Blood and Guts Considering that match is over a year in the making, it will be imperative for the performers to hit the segment out of the proverbial ballpark. Given the quality of the work to this point, that should not be a problem at all. So the Elite are in their own private trailer, of course. Callis says he loves history, and there has never been an ensemble of talent like this one. Matt says this group is the reason business picked up in Japan. This group is the reason there is an AEW. Omega says everybody who hates what they stand for, a car horn sounds outside, distracts Omega. They look outside, and the car horn is Moxley and Kingston. They run the car into the Elite's trailer. They attack the trailer with fake pipe, smashing the window. The Elite have run away. Moxley asks, where did they go? The Elite are bitch as fuck. Moxley and Kingston have nothing to worry about. Powerhouse Hobbs makes his way to the ring. Powerhouse Hobbs recently had his match with Baron Black on this Tuesday's episode, or should I say, this Tuesday night's episode of AEW Dark. He had his match with Baron Black. And of course, it was a squash match. He made his way to the ring. Christian Cage was out next. Taz has once again joined commentary. So the lockup starts. Cage was driven into the corner. Hobbs throws Cage out of the ring onto the stage. Cage gets back in. Hobbs powers out of a wrist lock and slams Cage to the mat. Cage hits right hands and lures Hobbs out of the ring. Cage hits more strikes in a baseball slide to Hobbs. On the outside, Hobbs hits a clubbing blow to Cage. Cage throws Hobbs into the crowd. Hobbs pushes Serpentico. He pushes Serpentico to the floor. Hobbs grinds Cage's face into the barricade. Hobbs hits a reverse DDT. And Cage kicks out at 2. Hobbs hits a headlock. Cage fights out with strikes to the midsection. Cage was driven into the ropes. Hobbs hits a chin lock. And Cage hits shots to the midsection. Cage was driven into the ropes. Hobbs hits a chin lock on Cage. Cage hits shots to the midsection of Powerhouse Hobbs. And then goes for the kill switch. Hobbs powers out. Cage was thrown across the ring. Hobbs stands on Cage and climbs to the top. Cage gets hit, feet up. And Cage hits right hands. Pendulum kick, driving uppercut. Hobbs kicks out at 2. Yes, he kicked out at 2. So Cage hits right hands to Hobbs, and then Hobbs hits a huge spine buster to Christian Cage for a 2 count. Cage hits an elbow and hits a powerbomb on Hobbs. Cage climbs to the top and hits a frog splash. Hobbs kicks out at 2. Cage goes for a spear. Hobbs reverses, and Hobbs hits a hip attack in the corner. Cage kicks out at 2. Cage locks in a sleeper. Hobbs drives him into the corner. Cage hits the kill switch for the victory. And that was it. Now, in case I haven't given you all my thoughts on Billy Gunn in the QT Marshall match, the match was exactly what you would expect from Gunn and Marshall in 2021. With that said, the effort was absolutely there, and the spotlight was appropriately on Camarado and Ogogo. Both both of whom looked absolutely devastating in spots here. This all seems to be heading towards a multi-man match, tag match, presumably at Double or Nothing. With Cody Rhodes returning to really put it over the top, considering everyone else is otherwise tied up in other stories. There are far worse things for them to be occupied with, especially if the company can continue to highlight Camarado, Ogogo, and Solo. That's my thoughts on Billy Gunn versus QT Marshall. Now, analyst thoughts on Hobbs versus Christian Cage. This was rather slow, mythical pace of the match, prevented it from ever really achieving a grade any higher. Now, it is totally understandable why, as Christian was working with a young star, still learning with every match in which he competes. Here he sold for Big Hobbs, putting over his power and size before taking advantage of his Umbras and scoring the come from behind victory. The tease of a match with Starks is intriguing, if only because their styles would seemingly mesh well and may make for a damn good match. Definitely. Better than tonight's show, which saw Christian a step slower as he accounted for a Hobbs who will one day rule over AEW as world champion. Now, Starks limps out to check on Hobbs, stare down with Christian. Commentary runs down next week's card. Jake Argill says all managers are looking to sign her. Matt Hardy, Vicky Guerrero, Argill says she doesn't need a manager, but it will have to be a hell of a deal. So we have a commercial break. Jungle Boy is out first for the main event, accompanied by Jurassic Express. Darby Allin makes his entrance next, accompanied by Sting. This was the second best match on the show. So that's two matches today: Conti versus Shida and Darby Allin versus Jungle Boy for the TNT Championship. Both championship matches were the best matches on the show. Now, they were the only best matches. Now we got the AEW TNT Championship for the main event. Darby Allin with Sting at ringside versus Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus at ringside. So the match starts with a lockup. They are evenly matched. A test of strength. Darby gets a side headlock. Jungle locks transition into a pinfall. Kick out at 2. Jungle Boy hits a hip toss and locks in an armbar. Another hip toss and armbar from Jungle Boy. Darby hits a hip toss from the top. Jungle Boy goes for a snare trap. Darby escapes. Darby hits a double leg takedown and shots to the face. The outside. Jungle Boy hits some chops. Darby hits a chop of his own. Jungle Boy and Darby spilling over the barricade into the crowd. And those chops are dangerous. They're hard hitting, man. I'm telling you. So back in the ring, Jungle Boy takes the advantage. Huge elbow strike. Darby hits chops in the corner. Darby hits a superplex. Jungle Boy hits elbow strikes, belly to belly into the corner. Jungle Boy hits a German suplex, 2 count. Tiger suplex, 2 count. Darby hits a stunner for a 2 count. Darby hits a running elbow in the corner. Jungle Boy gets the knees up. Jungle Boy hits a body scissor slam. Darby rolls to the outside. Jungle Boy hits a suicide dive, then another suicide dive. Then another one again. Darby hits a coffin drop on the ring apron. Both men spill from the outside. Luchasaurus helps Jungle Boy into the ring. Sting goes face to face with Luchasaurus. They trade right hands and brawl to the back. Darby and Jungle Boy fight in the corner. Jungle Boy hits brain buster. He hits a brain buster and a running elbow. Darby kicks out at 2. Jungle Boy locks in the snare trap again. Jungle Boy hits a surfboard and locks in the snare trap once again. That's like the second or third time in a row he's done that. Darby pulls the hair and gouges the eyes to escape. Darby hits the last supper for the win. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page attack both men after the match. Page hits a Eagle's Edge on Darby. Lance Archer runs out to make the save. Page and Sky double team Archer. Sting comes down with the baseball bat. It chases them out of the ring. Dynamite ends with Sting pointing the bat at Page and Sky. That was a great ending to the show. Allin and Jungle Boy absolutely tore the house down this week, delivering a hell of a wrestling match that reflected why management is so high on them. Jungle Boy brought the submission-based offense, while Allin again snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. Finding a way to win a match appeared destined to lose down the stretch. Jungle Boy lost nothing in defeat as he delivered a performance that was so strong it eclipses the loss. Allin continues to inch his name in the history book, delivering performances that support both management and fans. Instance that the face painted Osrio, the face painted anti-hero, is the future of the company. Yes, folks, instances that the face painted anti-hero is the future of the company. I agree with this. I agree with what I'm saying here. Sky and Page interjecting themselves in the closing moments of the show, beating the babyfaces down until Sting made the save, establishes them as the greatest threat to Allin's title and potential opposition for the TNT Championship, and Sting, as Double or Nothing draws near. So the match and the post-match developments help cap off what was another stellar episode of Dynamite as the company hits its creative stride ahead of one of its signature pay-per-view extravagances. Now, this was a great episode, man. Decent show as usual, man. You saw everything that went down, and I saw it as well. This was absolutely phenomenal. I am looking forward to reviewing AEW Dynamite again next Wednesday night. I can't wait because I know there are probably some good matches booked for next week's episode of Dynamite. I'm going to find out what those matches are. But for now, folks, that's going to do it for your AEW Dynamite April the 21st, 2021 review. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. I am actually going to get out of here, man. Folks, let me check something. I need to see if one of my friends is on. Yes, my PlayStation 4 was on during the review. Yes, it was. It's still on. Haven't cut it off not one time yet. Yeah, I have not cut it off yet. At all. I'm going to check to see if one of my friends is on. I'm either going to be streaming back on Dragon Ball Z Verse 2 right now, or not streaming back on Dragon Ball Z Verse 2, but I'm either going to be streaming back on Dragon Ball on Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War or Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Now, this afternoon, when I come back home from the barbershop, I will be streaming a different game, and it'll probably be Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 again, because I actually enjoy playing that game. I really do. And I really want to bring some more Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 content to the channel for people that are Naruto fans. I really want to do this for the Naruto fans because I know they love some Naruto like I do. I love some anime like everybody else. Like every YouTuber, every anime YouTuber does. The only anime I love, though, is Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, and that's the problem. They're all super anime as well. So, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. And I'm actually going to tweet out a poll asking which game I should stream right now. So, I'm getting out of here. Peace. And, oh, wait. One more thing. And I'm going to tweet out a poll asking how I did on my Dynamite review. So, please tell me I did good or not bad, because I know for a fact I didn't do bad. Now, I'm getting out of here. Peace, y'all. See you on my Friday night SmackDown watch along and on my Friday night SmackDown review. And I will see you all on the new game this Friday night afternoon before my SmackDown watch along. You're going to be surprised on what the new game is that I'm streaming this Friday afternoon. You better join the chat, find out for yourselves, because you're going to be surprised. Now, see you then, folks.